As Sarah will tell you, I do story time for kids quite a bit. I've been doing it for decades. I've done stories for adults too, but this is the first time I've done this particular story. It's based on a segment of a Twilight Zone episode from 1985. It's Halloween coming up close, so I thought that this would be appropriate. It's not too long, and it's got some humor in it, hopefully. The name of the story is called Eye of Newton, and it's the teleplay was by Alan Brennert, and it's based on a short story by Joe Haldeman. And in the story, Sherman Hemsley of the Jeffersons, he played a mathematician, and Ron Glass plays a mysterious figure who will become evident who he is. And so it all starts with Sam, the mathematician. Now, Sam, the mathematician, he was working on an equation. It was an integration equation, and he was having a devil of a time. He could not quite get the equation to work. He had been working on it for days. And you could, people walking by his office could hear him muttering to himself, n minus 2 over n minus 1 to the cosine of, no, that can't be it. D minus 1 over, n to the cosine of b. And then he was just finally getting so frustrated that he just said, damn it, I would sell my soul to get this thing right. And that's when it happened. There was a rush of hot wind, the smell of brimstone, and then with a puff of fire and smoke, was sitting on one of his chairs, this man who was, wearing just a red t-shirt and blue jeans and horns on his head and a forked tail. And on the t-shirt it read, "Hell is a summer festival." And he said, 2 words, babe. Eternal damnation. Are we in business? And Sam said, did I say so? I'm sorry. Slip of the tongue. Didn't mean to waste your time. I'm sure you're very busy with whatever it is that you're doing. And oh my goodness, is that the time? I've got someplace that I've got to be. And he turned to leave his office and ran smack into an invisible wall. And he turned back and the demon was looking at him like, somebody might be looking at a bug on a dish. He's like, it was just an idle comment, for God's sake. You don't go after every jerk that makes some careless remark, do you? And the demon just kind of sat there regarding him. And Sam was like, okay, maybe you do. Here's the backstory, Sam. You don't mind if I call you Sam, do you? I mean, I think we're really vibing in a positive way, and I really don't want to get any of that victim, demon, negative imaging to get in the way. Okay, here's the deal. Now, he was wearing mirrored sunglasses, and he took them off to reveal mirrored eyes. All that mathematical lingo you were spouting, it's beautiful, babe. It's like poetry. It brought tears to my eyes. It just happened to have the right phonetic structure for a good old-fashioned demonic invocation, especially with that neat little curse woven into it. Are we talking high concept or what? And Sam was like, yeah, well, you can forget it, fella, because I am not. You can go back to whatever Stygian depths you came from, okay? I am not selling my soul for the solving of any equation. And now, by this point, the writing on the demon's t-shirt had changed. And now it said, over 2 billion served. And he said, Stygian depths. I like that. You mention Dante to most people these days, and they say, what boy band was he from? You got class. I like you, Sam, but no can do. You see, your soul came into possession the moment I was summoned. I'm just a sub-agent here to close the deal. It's all a formality. In other words, you're damned if you do, and damned if you don't. And Sam was like, but that's not fair. Well, of course it's not fair. We're evil. Look it up. And Sam was like, what is it with you guys and souls anyway? I mean, mean, what do you do with them all? Well, us personally, we don't do anything. I mean, we, process them, purchase, process them, and then, after, a reasonable markup, we sell them off to the big chains. Sam was like, big chains? Right. For instance, there's this overlord in an outlying dimension. He uses the souls that we sell him to power the bodies of undead maintenance workers. Oh, he must go through 2-3 million a year. Him we serve a bulk rate. Okay, so much for opening rituals. Now let's cut to the feature presentation. Here are the rules. You get to ask me 3 questions about my juice. You savvy? Juice, meaning powers, abilities. Right, Sam. You humans, you creatures, relatively speaking, even though you have the intelligence of a flatworm, relatively speaking, you humans can be pretty clever. So anyway, after you ask me the 3 questions, then you have to ask me a final question on any subject which I have to answer. Or set me a task which I have to perform. If I fail to do so, your soul goes into turnaround and you're a free man. And Sam said, really? First question, yes, really. No, I didn't mean. Sam, we've been over this before. Evil, remember? Oh, right, I keep forgetting. I should warn you, though. The last person that set me a task I couldn't perform or a question I couldn't answer was... what year was the Peloponnesian Wars anyway? Second question. Is there any physical or temporal limits to your abilities? And he said, oh, not a one, babe. I can travel faster than the speed of light or make 2 electrons occupy the same quantum space as easily as you can blow your nose. I can do anything, be anywhere. And I have access to all the recorded information across the omniverse. I know what you're thinking. What a guy. And by this point, his t-shirt now said, hell is a place much like Newark. So, yes. Sam was like, okay, my next question is a corollary to the first. Poetry. Sheer poetry. I know just the place for you. There is a dimension where the beings that live there, they're living binary digits. You could become a decimal. In time, work your way up to a fraction. And Sam said, is there anywhere in all the universe, in all of being, that you could go and not find your way back here? I hate to lay these negative vibes on you, Sam, but no. I can scoot over to the Andromeda Galaxy and back again in about half a millisecond. Faster if I don't stop for lunch. I could scoot over to what Berlin would have been like if the Nazis had won World War II, or 21st century Rome if Alexander had lived to a ripe old age. And I gotta confess, Sam, I'm a little bit disappointed in you. Trying to find a place I couldn't come back from. Oh, that's an old trick. I can't remember. Must have been the last time somebody tried to do that to me. Must have been 5th century BC. Didn't work then, won't work now. Now finally, ask me. A question I can't answer, or a task I must perform? It's not a question. It's a command. Lay it on me, babe. And Sam took a deep breath and said, get lost. No. No! 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 And he vanished into a puff of smoke, nothing left but his mirrored sunglasses. And Sam bent down and picked up the mirrored sunglasses and looked at the board with his unfinished equation and said, well, that guy was no help at all. And he threw it in the trash And that is the end of that story.